And so the picture that I had shown before of the man on the right, this woman in the white top and the yellow picture with a white headdress, when she said, "Is this the man?" And they said, "Yes, it is." She took me to her hut where her husband, the one in the blue, had just had a stroke. And so she wanted me to pray for him. She was so impressed with the work that was done with a broken arm. And so he was much better when I left. And that, the thing is, a lot of times it's asked, why are Africans so much more receptive than people in America? And my answer to that always is they're not. But everybody's receptive to healing. And as Christian Scientists, we need to remember that healing is as natural as breathing. Does it seem like it? But that's the manipulation of mind that we have to reject instead of accept. So another woman that had heard about the healing of the broken arm was a woman in Harare who was, she had been partially blind her entire life. And so then she went completely blind. And the doctor said there was nothing that could be done. It couldn't be reversed. She was never going to be able to see, and that was that. And so that farmer that had got the container was talking to her and told her about the healing. And so she agreed to have me pray for her. And so the thing is, when that happened and they called me, I was here in California, I was so busy. I was so busy I could not sit down and spend a lot of time and pray and read and give a big long treatment. I could only think very quickly about it. But I just insisted that there was no such thing. That her sight was perfect. Always had been, always will be. That was it. And then I had to go on. In 2 days, her sight came back. But it wasn't as before. She now had perfect sight. 20/20 vision, which she had never had her entire life. She was in her 40s. So she'd gone a long time partially blind. And so then she told a friend of hers from an evangelical church that's very antagonistic to Christian Science. Well, the thing is, because of the healing, a woman in that church, her daughter was having real trouble, and she had a heart condition that was crippling her and keeping her from even just walking or riding a bike normally. So even though she had been taught that Christian Science is a cult and to stay away as far away as you can, she called and asked if I would come and eat dinner with them. So they kind of grilled me on questions about the Bible. And they were surprised that I knew the Bible. And that I said things to them from the Bible that they didn't remember. And how I had utilized these ideas from the Bible for healing. Well, then the family had a little council meeting with me outside the room. And I guess I passed the test because they came in and said, okay, you've got to help us. So they said, we're not going to trust you with our daughter. But the mother, she'd been diagnosed with a heart problem that she had numerous heart attacks, that if she did anything strenuous at all, it was supposed to kill her. She said, how exactly would a Christian Scientist pray about this? And so I touched on the fact that the Christian Scientist wouldn't just ask God for help, but like a lawyer argues for the defense against the accusation from the standpoint of God's perfect law that has already made us innocent and pure and well. And so I said, take this idea from the Bible and think and pray with it, and I'll pray for you too. Well, she survived the night. No harm done by the prayer of a Christian Scientist. And she, in fact, called the next day and asked for some more prayer. Within a couple of weeks, she was out riding a bike in a bike race, professionally riding. We're talking hard riding, pushing herself. And there was no after effect whatsoever, and she's continued. And so then that led to working for her daughter and other people as well. And so, so really, all of this work that has gone on in Africa, and there's quite a bit of humanitarian work that goes on, it's all based on the healing work of Christian Science. That has opened the way for us to be able to help in so many different ways. And the other thing, too, is that especially because most places I go, they don't have practitioners that heal people. People will line up to come see me. And the thing is that all of us in Christian Science learn how to heal. It's not that we learn how to be dependent on a practitioner or a teacher. We're all learning the truth that makes us free. And so this one woman who came to see me, she was terrified. She was shaking. Her husband had just died of AIDS. She had AIDS tumors all over her face and arms, and she was afraid that all of her children would get it or had it and would die as well. And so as I prayed there just silently for her and to reassure her that she couldn't be sentenced to death and that life is in God, she did calm down. Well, the next year that I saw her, after some more prayer, all of those tumors were gone. But not only that, she said that she had started to go to the Christian Science Church and the Christian Science Reading Room, and that she had been learning a great deal. And so the next problem she had was that she had some kind of internal growth that was stopping her natural functions. It was very painful, and she had sought medical treatment, and they weren't doing anything. So that she said, well, then I can pray for myself as I'm reading about this. That through a case of mental surgery, that tumor or growth inside her came out naturally, and she was healed. So the next healing that she had was that she was doing some work at home, and she dropped a cinder block on her foot, breaking the bone entirely. It was horribly painful, but she had to go to work every day because you can't miss work in Zimbabwe because there are about 100 million other people that'll take the job if you don't. And so she had to hobble to work every day for a week. She prayed and she prayed and she prayed and she prayed, and she said nothing got better. It was just horrifically painful. So finally, at the end of the week, halfway to work, she just stopped and she thought, I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. I'm just going to have to give up. And she thought, that's not what all of these things are saying in the Bible and Science and Health that I've been reading. They all are reassuring me that God is here and I'm his image and likeness. And God doesn't have any broken bones. So I can't either. And she said instantly her foot was healed. And she ran all the way to work, jumping up and down as she went, and that was over. And so this is a woman that knows very, very little about Christian Science, but she's sure plowing into it now. She's a regular attendant at the reading room now, and she heals other people as well because of the naturalness of it. And so one of the messages that all these people here would want to convey to all you people, us people here, is you don't know what a good thing you've got. And don't be afraid to share it. And don't be afraid to pray for someone, even if you're not perfect yourself yet. Because who is? You can be ill. You can be on your back sick as a dog and still heal other people. And the more we heal others, the more it helps ourselves. Because we're reflecting God, expressing Him. And that always helps the practitioner or healer the most.